I want to thank you all for your patience. The Eastham Conservation Commission will hold a hybrid public meeting on Tuesday, June 10th, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. pursuant to Massachusetts General Law, MGL Chapter 30A, Sections 18 to 25, Open Meeting Law, MGL Chapter 131, Section 40, Wetlands Protection Act, and Chapter 155 of the Code of the Town of Eastham, Eastham Wetlands Protection Bylaw. The Commission will consider a proposed change to the freshwater dock regulation definitions and adopting a new proposed regulations concerning Section 7E, docks and piers, to saltwater docks and piers of the Eastham Wetlands regulations. Votes may be taken. So we're here tonight to hear comments from the public on the proposed regulations, and I ask if anybody would like to do so, that they raise their hand and be recognized. Oh, wait a minute. I apologize. I didn't take attendance. My apologies. Mike Carnett.
Here.
Joanne Cossett.
Here.
Greg Douglas.
Here.
Chuck Wagner.
Here.
Janet Benjamins.
Here.
And Karen Strauss, I am here. Okay. And apologies for that. And now we did have one comment submitted by email, and I will open the floor to those who are attending who wish to speak. Okay. Okay. I will just maybe read into the record the comment that we did get. This is a letter from Phil and Pam Hess at 90 Mary Chase Road, Eastham Conservation Commission. I was not surprised to read in the proposed dock and pier regulations that these structures pose a significant negative environmental impact on our tidal lands, marshes, and waterways. I was pleased to see that MGL Chapter 91 was referenced to protect public rights to fishing, fouling, strolling, and navigation, and to protect the ecosystems or tidal lands, marshes, and waterways. At the May 13th Conservation Commission meeting, Mark Burgess, the engineer for a new dock at 255 Mary Chase Road, admitted that the dock would be in a neighborhood mooring field and would touch a navigational channel. Mark Burgess implied that the obstruction and safety of kayakers, paddleboarders, and rowers should not be a consideration. I have had a mooring at the Mary Chase field for 20 years, and in that time have noticed more and more kayakers, paddleboarders, and rowers in Town Cove. The dock that extends into the channel on the cove would push these into the channel with boats, which, as you know, is very narrow to begin with. Hopefully, the environmental science and knowledge regarding these structures in MGL Chapter 91 will help guide the Commission to an appropriate decision. We commend the Commission for doing this difficult job. Okay, then coming back to the public, not seeing any comments, I guess we will ask for a motion from the Commission to close the public hearing.
I move to close the public hearing.
Okay, and is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Mike?
Yes.
Joanne?
Yes.
Janet?
Yes.
Chuck?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
And I'm a yes, and now the Commission will discuss the regulations and decide what we want to do. We had some discussion about the definition of navigation channel, and in reviewing that, I have a proposal to make that we delete the word navigation from on page on page 8 under Section 3 setback and navigation requirements, Section A, letter I. It says 100 feet of a navigation channel or mooring field. I propose that we delete the word navigation from there, leaving the word channel, and then I propose a definition for channel as follows: that a channel, channel being defined as part of a body of water that has sufficient depth and is designated or customarily used for navigation. So looking for comments.
I think we need to comply with or use the same.
I'm sorry, Chuck, I can't hear you.
Okay, it's not muted.
Okay, I can hear you now. I think you were just a little far away from the mic.
Maybe so. I think we need to be careful. I'm sure that the state has definitions for these things. And we need to use the same definition they have. Maybe town council could give us some advice on this.
Well, we had, they have definitions for something officially called navigation channel. Otherwise, a channel is, I've looked in a number of places, and the channel is described as in similar terms to what I have proposed.
Aaron, I do think you're correct. I think for Massachusetts, a channel is a navigable route. So I think what you're suggesting works because the navigable channel is almost redundant in that sense if you take channel as a navigable waterway.
Yeah, and navigation channel as a term implies something, defines something that is a shipping channel with buoys and marked as such, as opposed to something that is customarily used as a channel, such as the way Town Cove is used, or the estuary might be used. And since Mike was the one who asked for a definition. Any thoughts there, Mike?
I like it. I'd say go ahead.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay.
No, I
And
like it also.
Okay. And then I just was wondering if we might want to revisit the dock height section. The requirement that the dock be at base flood elevation plus 3 feet. I got to thinking about the dock height and the aesthetics and of that, as opposed to just considering sea level rise and storminess. And I thought I'd ask what you guys think, if you want to keep it or we want to have another discussion around it. Greg?
I had more of a question. What's the basis of the 3 feet?
Well, that's the normal, that's the height of waves in a
Oh, okay.
VE zone, and that's the height that usually that a structure is supposed to be above the base flood elevation under the building code and in the proposed DEP land subject to coastal storm flooding regulations.
Does it consider at all a navigation for like kayaks? I'm just,
It does not. Those regulations do not, but we obviously are considering things like that.
mhm.
Anyway, that's my question here. Janet?
If we take out the 3 feet, then what we're saying is almost any storm over a certain type would flood the dock and cover it.
Right.
And
mhm.
I don't know whether that's good or not. And also, as Greg mentioned, kayaks. I don't know whether I'd want to kayak under a dock that's 3 feet above a certain base flood level.
Well,
I think I'd want to kayak around it.
right, but that's a base flood level when there's a storm and there's coastal flooding, as opposed to a normal tidal height.
which might be 4 or 5 feet.
Mm.
Right?
Right, because otherwise we have that the dock would be at a ratio, height to width ratio of 1.5 to 1 and be above mean high water.
All right. Now, why are you suggesting that we take out the 3 feet?
I just got to thinking about the aesthetics of dock heights and whether we need to actually include this at this point in time, or whether we could. I'm just confusing everybody and complicating things as usual. But no, I got to thinking about dock height and aesthetics and that kind of impact of having a dock that might be 3 feet higher than that we've been permitting up to this point.
You're not confusing people as much as I don't know the answer to it.
Yeah, there's a reason to have the dock higher to give it more sustainability in terms of when there's a storm and less opportunity for debris, even though we have pretty high standards in terms of hardware and design.
Okay.
It's just something that was concerning me, so I thought I'd put it out there.
Thank you.
Maybe I shouldn't have, but anybody have other thoughts on this?
I mean, I'll say I don't have a problem with the 3 feet. Aesthetics are clearly important, but I'm also thinking about, we do have strict standards for labeling of the components of the dock, but it's a lot of time and effort to find the dock, get somebody to go pick it up. If it's the off season, where's the owner? Maybe they're not here. Maybe it shows up on a remote beach. So I just as soon avoid all that, unless you want some free driftwood maybe, but
Then you have to go to Chuck's house.
you have to go to Chuck's house. So yeah, I mean, in concept, it does help cut down on the burden of having to deal with all of that if we had a big storm. That said, I'm not suggesting we have to go out anyway, but I see the value. Let me put it that way. I see the value in the 3 feet.
Okay. Anybody else? Greg, Mike? Chuck? Mike?
I see the value of the 3 feet also just for light level. Higher up,
Okay.
more light gets under there, so I would keep it at 3 feet.
Okay. It sounds like that's where we are.
Mhm.
This just seemed the time to me to just put it out, but okay. So it seems to me like we have the minor change of deleting the word navigation and adding the definition for channel, and otherwise that we are happy with the way it is. Is that correct?
Yes.
So if we could have a motion to adopt the proposed regulation with the modifications as noted.
So moved.
And a second?
Second,
Okay. Janet?
yes.
Joanne?
Yes.
Chuck?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
And I am a yes as well. And we are done. The regulations will go into effect as soon as we give them to the town clerk, and they are published on the town website. And that, I think, concludes our hearing on dock regulations. If we